Yo, I'm back. I'll do now. Thanks, Claire. Cool. Let's see what the market want to do. How's Japan? Oh, it's been lit. Let's see if I have some pictures, guys. But no, Japan has been really fun. I'm just like tired because the time difference is 10:24 right now in Japan. And I'm usually up at like 8 a.m. I was used to being up at 8 a.m. right from training and stuff, so been like out and about and doing a lot of fun things. Let's see. Here's a cool picture of Mount Fuji. I'm sure you guys can see this. Let me pop into my stream, my own stream. See if I can see my own. See my own. Let's go a little closer. Anyways, no, it's been great. The views are great. The food's great. The people are great. Everyone's like super polite, and I'm Canadian, so not too hard for me. But yeah, no, it's been good. Well, Dipsky did create a top wick. It did create a top wick. And there's also there was in 1 minute SMT as well before, I believe. Somewhere? No. Am I lying? Am I lying on my butt? I'm not lying on my butt. There was 1 minute SMT as well. All right, cool. You drove? Oh, let me. Did you submitted a ticket, right? I can just give you. Let me just give you perms. I'll do that right after the stream. Is that you? Are you? Actually, I don't want to out your. Oh, where'd the ticket go? Can you submit another? I'm so sorry. Can you submit another ticket? Actually, wait, no, you're not in the Discord anyways right now. Can you send me a DM actually? Just shoot me a DM on Discord if you have me on Discord. That would actually just work. That would work as well. You drove? Yes, I did drive. So I rented a car, or my family rented a car, I guess, and we've been just driving around. It's been very useful, and I've been trying to get used to driving on the left side of the road, and also the driver's seat's on the right side, so it's like hurts my head a little, but it's a good time. It's fun. Is Ethan there? Hello, Ethan? I see him in the call, but he's not talking.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, let's go to trading view. Yo, what's up, everyone? I got my face cam today.
Face cam.
Low key, kind of nervous, and you guys can see I'm in a position. So
Bro,
this is the position I'm in right now. It's kind of nerve wracking, but this is the position I'm in right now.
I might as well show my position too.
Yeah, so, you guys are gonna see my stressed out. Oh, 20R trade. Wow, if it goes. Let's see if it goes.
Please.
Okay, so I've laid out my stream like this. Let me know how you guys like it, because this way you guys can see my positions and then still see the chart and now see my face pretty much. How you guys feel about this setup? Great.
W setup. W's in the chat, everyone.
I also changed my title to be a little more clickbaity. I can't lie. Thank you. All right, so I gotta announce that I'm live now.
Oh, there's a tab. One minute for equities open, guys. You better get to announce anything. I mean, there's not really much to do with the watch, actually, but...
All right, let's do it. I don't know why the face cam just makes me more nervous, but
Chilling. No doom scrolling, bro.
yeah, no doom scrolling, bro. I'm itching. Live alert. All right,
Oh,
all
and if you
right.
guys didn't, if you didn't go over it on history, but Ethan and I took the trade based off the same idea, which could be wiped out, which I think
I
it
just
could be
got
wiped out.
stopped. Yeah, I just got stopped. All
But it's
good.
basically 5-minute, 15.5 daily.
Oh my
It's the
gosh, these
general.
announcements. I gotta get the announcements. I think I got it all. All right, nice, nice, nice. All right, so this trade I just got stopped out of. Let's redraw this so it's a little cleaner. And then does it show daily P&L? Yes, it does. Okay, great. So I'm down 0.5 R right now. Times 5. Or not times 5, but 5 accounts across. Down 0.5 R. So I'll just give my outlook really quickly while the... Wait, does everything look good? Can you guys hear me fine? Or is the music too loud?
Wow, my thing is so slow. Let's just wait. Now we wait
Okay.
and reevaluate.
It's good, good, good. All right, nice, nice.
Wow,
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys my outlook for today and then the reason why I took that short. So today there's news at 10 a.m. So I'm looking for opportunities beginning at 9 a.m. On the monthly chart, still looking very bullish, looking for all-time highs as my narrative. Going down to the daily chart. This is my new dealing range on the daily chart. Right now, I'm still waiting for it to develop. The reason why I'm looking for lower prices is because we took out external range high, so we could potentially look for lower prices for that internal range liquidity. And so if we drop down to the 90-minute chart, it becomes a little clearer on why I'm looking for lower prices is because we have an SMT with previous day high, and we have a lot of internal range liquidity resting below these lows right here specifically. So I'd like to see if price is able to push lower and then wipe this out and then continue higher after that. So that's my game plan for today. Dropping down to the 5-minute chart or 15-minute chart, we'll start here. You have a London high SMT as well. And then you also have a 5-minute SMT on the highs. So that's why I took the short I did. Once this down close candle was formed at 9:05, it created change in state delivery with this up close candle. So I entered on that, put my stop loss at this high. And then unfortunately, this trade just didn't work out, but everything was part of the plan as always. So now it's just waiting for 9:30 to develop and then potentially look for another short position. And then from there, I guess we'll just take it from there. But that's pretty much my game plan today. Is that clear for everyone? If you don't use back adjust, then we technically are already at all-time highs. I think there's a 1-minute SMT here. I might take this off of this change in state delivery. We'll see. We'll give it 30 seconds here to develop. But mainly what I'd like to see is on the 5-minute chart, if we're able to close back below these up close candles, then I'll take another entry here because that's the same trade idea. Off of the 5-minute SMT on the high, that's still holding as of right now. There's also the 15-minute SMT with London high, right? So far it looks pretty good. One more minute in this 5-minute candle. I'll see if we can... There's two scenarios I have in my head right now. It's either this candle in 1 minute closes below this consolidation pretty much, or this closes an up close candle. Next candle drives lower, engulfing this specific up close candle of 9:30, and then we'll look for lower prices after that. So either way, I'm leaning bearish today.
keeps freezing. It's kind of annoying. I don't
What
know
keeps
if
freezing?
it's my chart keeps freezing, and I'm pretty sure it's just because of the network here. I have to keep refreshing.
Yeah, I think it is the network.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi's not good. Yikes.
Oh dang, what happened to oil? Crazy.
The oil just pump.
No, it dumped.
Oh.
Nasdaq kind of pumping here, so I want to see if I think invalidation of my bias would only be if YM's able to continuously push higher as well, invalidating these SMTs on the highs. Otherwise, I'd probably just continue looking for shorts here. In your entries, what do you consider change state delivery? Is it when we engulf the candle that created the SMT? Yeah, I typically look for the up close candle that creates the SMT or the up close candle that wicks out liquidity. So in this case, this candle right here is the one that took out this liquidity right here or closed above it. You could also refer to this down close candle or this up close candle at 850. And then if you put all three of these candles together, that would be your 15-minute candle. And then that'd be a 15-minute order block. So if you want to be a little more conservative than I was, then you could have waited for the 15-minute change state delivery, which I never got, or which we never got. And then, but I just entered off the 5-minute chart is what I did. Is it too late to enter? What are you looking for, a long or a short?
Let's see if YM can.
9:30 higher, 10 a.m. news lower. That's the plan, but of course we're gonna pay attention to what price wants to do here. Give it 3 more minutes, it might push higher off that, off YM.
Yeah,
because right now there's SMT on the lows as well. I really don't want to trade YM though, I'm not gonna lie, so I prefer shorts. How do I unhighlight? I guess I can't. Rows selected. I don't want to select any rows. Okay, well I guess I can't. I was looking for long since we are all-time high with bullish price action. I don't think it's too late to enter even if you are looking for longs. Right now, I just got stopped on my first position for minus 0.5 R. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for 9:30 to pretty much pass and see what price action wants to give, because I also want to see what YM wants to do here. And if you're bullish, then I think that there's still going to be good opportunity to get in. If you want to trade, let's say like a breakout, then you could enter a position like this if this is part of your plan, and then look for higher prices, because this is what created the 5-minute SMT earlier at 9:30. So off of this candle closure, that would have been a bullish model for me. But just because I'm not leaning bullish, I didn't take this trade. I also really like the sell side liquidity though, to be honest, which is why I'm leaning pretty bearish here. Because even if we were to go higher, I'd like to see price go lower than higher. Because right now it looks like it's kind of staircase up, elevator down kind of vibe. So we'll see if YM actually ends up reaching for the sell side liquidity first. Then that'll tell me that there's SMT here and that, you know, order pairing has been fulfilled on YM rather than ESNQ. But this is what my eye's on, this red line. Dang, this is so bullish. What are your thoughts, Elijah? Yo, what's up, Gino? I've been testing on micro Nasdaq. It hasn't reached all-time high yet, but Nasdaq already did. Do you know why? So if you use the back adjusted contracts, it hasn't reached all-time highs yet, which is what I use. I always keep back adjust on the continuous contract. If you go to each individual contract of their own, then you will also see it's basically back adjusted. So if you do use a continuous contract, make sure you turn on back adjust. If we get a heavy sell-off here, this is where I'm going to be interested in looking for a sell. Let's say this 5-minute candle drives all the way lower, engulfing this candle, closing below the opening price of this 935 candle. That's where I'm going to take a sell, put my stop loss above this high. And then I'm going to try to ride it lower into the sell side liquidity once again. The back adjust setting is you have to make sure you're using the continuous contract. So that would be NQ1 exclamation mark or NQ2 exclamation mark. Those would be your continuous contracts. I use NQ1 exclamation mark. That's the ticker symbol. And then from here at the bottom right, you'll see B-adjust or ADJ. And that's going to be back adjust, and it automatically adjusts for your contract changes.
Quick review question. 1017. Oh my goodness, the 1 minute looks ugly. So we don't drop it. Wait, what do you mean 10? Oh, 624. Oh my goodness.
Yo, Elijah, let's hop in the lab.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hey.
Yo.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
I'm gonna pull up Elijah's stream so I can see his chat too, in case, because I don't know when he's deafened or not. Guys, I think it's bullish.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Might be bullish. I don't know. Might be wrong on my bias.
I'm in a YM short and I just kind of want to close it.
Wow.
Wait, you went YM short?
Yeah, I should have went YM.
Better thing, yeah.
Should have went YM.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, how is this not going to just go up if everything else is going up?
Yeah.
I felt really
Nah,
smart for a minute.
It does that.
think
It'd
I
be
just
doing that
delayed
sometimes
it.
though. My question is, why did... Actually, no. No questions allowed. Market does what it wants.
No questions allowed.
I'm just gonna wait until it gives me something. I feel like we're gonna get a dump later. I feel like that's kind of recently, that's what price action's been. Has it? No, not really. Never mind, I take it back. It's just kind of been up, 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 up.
Kinda
I'll
either
take it
today.
slower.
Either today or tomorrow, because this might just be a daily precision candle.
Yeah, it could be as well. That's weird. Only setting I have at the bottom left is ETH. That's probably because you're not on the continuous contract. So once again, make sure that you use the ticker NQ1 exclamation mark. That'll be your continuous contract.
Basis.
Let's see what Jesse's thinking. Actually, I have no idea. I feel like he's thinking the same thing. We're always aligned. Now is the boring part. But because I have my camera on, I can't doom scroll or play Brawlhalla. Actually, I could play Brawlhalla. TopStep doesn't have it. It's only trading view. Oh yeah, TopStep doesn't have it. Sorry. TopStep only has the specific contracts. This is it. All right, if we get a change of state delivery here, I'm in. Let me add the text. If change state delivery, then I'm in. So we'll give it 2 more minutes here to see how this candle wants to develop. Not too eager to enter a trade just yet. I really want to see this at least a 5-minute confirmation, and the reason is because I already took a loss earlier. So I only have 1 more bullet. I need to be conservative with it. What would my risk be on this? Around 3 contracts. Okay. Yeah, I'm still looking for shorts. Short bias. Yeah, Yoshi, we talked about this. You remember we were talking about Val, I think. But yeah, I don't play Valorant anymore. That's a distant past. I think 3 will sync up with the news. Yeah, we'll see. 1 more minute here, and then if we get this change state delivery, news or not, I'm getting in. If I get a winning trade, I get a winning trade. It is part of what it is. I just need to make sure my risk is appropriate for this. Yeah, it would be 3 contract, 3 micro contracts short. If you get the change state delivery on ES but not NQ yet, would you still enter on NQ? I typically like to wait for all 3 markets to make the change state delivery. So, and that's usually like an extra confirmation I use, but I typically trade NQ, so I'm gonna wait for NQ to create the change state delivery. So 15 seconds here. Finger on the trigger. And I'm in. So this is the position I'm in now. I'm going to be looking for lower prices, ultimately into some sell side liquidity. See how price wants to develop here.
It looks hecking clean.
No top wick.
Bro just had to say no top wick.
Well, I'm just saying there's no top wick. I'm calling it out for you, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Do that, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Why you
Bro,
point it
you
out?
had-
Why you gotta point it out?
Yeah, exactly. If you never point it out, it never exists.
Be a 10R trade if it hits. I'm gonna do top right 14 font, and then I'm gonna change this to a black line. Actually, I'll do middle right. That's my entry. The top right. I'll make this 12 font. Drag that out. And now we'll let it play out. A waiting game. Okay, let me read chat. I'm sorry, I missed a few. Have any method to place stop loss? I like to place my stop loss above the candle that creates the change in state delivery. So in this case, 945 is the candle that closes below the change in state delivery activation. So that's where I put my stop loss above. Because for my model, what I like to see is entry and instant push in my favor. I don't like to see it hesitate around. So with that logic, I don't want to see it revisit the candle high that create the change state delivery typically. If you get the change state delivery in ES, but oh, I think I already read that. Isn't it not real news though, since it's a testimony? It's kind of real news. I don't really pay too much attention. I just know to be careful around 10 a.m. today because he's talking. But other than that, I just pay attention to PA and I execute on my edge, whether there's news or not. Careful port short, my bill is on Monday. I don't know about that one. I wouldn't full port, but that is up to your discretion. Oh, we spoke about it. Fun to watch. Yeah, I don't really play Valorant though anymore. I used to. But the reasons like this, like with this monitor, I can't really play it either because it's too wide. Do you mind me asking some questions about Jesse's mentorship? If you don't mind, I already DM'd you on IG a couple days ago. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Don't say the no top wick. Micro has top wick, but I always pay attention to NQ, the mini contract. What price are you targeting? I'm targeting a pretty low price. It'd be like 22194. Pretty far away. I'm going to trail, of course, on the way there, but that is my ultimate target because I want to see sell side liquidity purged if price is bearish. What? I already read that. Too late. I already full ported. Now I have crazy anxiety. Bro, you're not real, Aaron. You're not real.
He's just a really trader,
ridiculous.
bro.
He's just a chill guy, I guess. I don't know.
I love you. I love that you said use your discretion when he said full port.
Yeah.
As if-
I personally wouldn't, but yeah, follow your discretion. You got it.
My discretion says yes, full port.
He's a chill guy with anxiety. Yes.
Aaron, I thought you were getting better.
Anyone else in the short?
Yeah, we're in the short. I think we're all in the short.
Oh, Trump is gonna go live the same time Powell is.
Oh man.
So one thing I'm paying attention to right now is as price trades back up into this change in state delivery area, and also this is also fair value gap, right? So ideally, I'd like to see price push lower from here. If not, I might actually cut my trade early, but I'm gonna let this 5-minute candle play out. So, which profit am I using? The one you see on screen is top step, and then the one that's off screen is with the the features desk. So let me just. What are you barking at, Jasper? Not a fan of this PA, not gonna lie. I think I might just got locked out here.
Yeah, it's not looking good. At least for lower prices.
Let's see, still got 2 more minutes in this 5-minute candle, but with the way it's pushing right now, it'd probably create an opposing model right here with the 5-minute 15 on the low. Reverse my position. Do you use order flow, footprint, or heat maps? I do not. I just use price action and ICT basically. Market way too bullish to short on the lower time frame. I'm just following my plan, man. Whatever it does, it does. It doesn't really matter. We'll see though. This is where I'd want to see like a heavy sell-off if it is going to be bearish here. Because this is the 5-minute fair value gap with the order block that I'm paying attention to. Aaron, you should probably just de-risk. If you're already at a drawdown, I would say de-risk and then I don't even know. If you actually full ported at him. I don't know what to say.
Just rage bait.
Yeah. Well, why would I be the one raging though?
Yeah, he'd be. I don't know. He just says the same thing. We just say the same thing back
Yeah.
over and over again. And not very much.
Just entertain it.
Yeah.
So what I'm paying attention to right now is this swing low that was formed right here. Actually, I'm gonna make this bold red line. So this swing low right here specifically is what I'm paying attention to. If the market's able to come back down below here and close below the swing low, then I'm gonna start trailing my stop loss. Because now for my trailing method, I just pretty much pay attention to market structure, right? If we're gonna be bearish, I'm just paying attention to basic bearish trend that I want to be a part of.
Am I in on this? I'm in on just evals right now. Here's my position. Let's see. Bonk.
So actually, I'll just do this and then I'll type stop loss. Middle right. That's good. Can't full port other people's trades, gets you every time. Aaron, add more so your average gets better. That is crazy advice.
Yikes.
That is crazy.
A DCA.
Can you give me higher time frame insight of all the Forex pairs? There's a lot of Forex pairs. I'll give you insight on specific pairs if you name them. But I don't trade currencies. But I can do analysis on your USD if you want. Your USD, GBP, USD. Yeah, I got you. So for EU, GU, DXY, I'm just bullish, I guess. On EU, I'm bullish. GU, I'm bullish. DXY, I'm bearish. The reason why is because we have this previous year low SMT, right? And prices just continued pushing past previous year high. If I remember correctly, this should be previous year high, or this is previous year low on DXY, previous year high on EU, previous year high on GU, close above all of it. So you just expect or anticipate higher prices off of that. And then ultimately, I think the drawn liquidity right now would be, it's pretty far, but I'd target this fair value gap and then these liquidity pools up here. And this is like on a monthly chart. So for a while, I'll be pretty bullish here. Unless something happens on the lower time frame. And then if we drop down to the daily chart, what I would be following along right now is just the daily ranges. So right now you have, let's see, this one down here, up there, down there. So you have this daily range right now. Price has traded into a discount into this internal range liquidity. Took out this external range liquidity.
All right, I'm trailing.
And DXY hasn't yet. So from that, I would look for lower time frame confirmation. If price wants to give you a retracement, what I'd look for in EU right now is possible retracements, like on a shorter term analysis. I'd be interested to look for continued longs for a longer term, but I first want to see price go lower into the sell side liquidity for order pairing and then continue higher. So my bias is overall bullish on EU, but in order for me to get long on this, I would look for order pairing on a lower time frame, such as the 90-minute chart or the 6-hour chart. Look for that order pairing and then look for higher prices after that. So I'd be short-term bearish on EU, look for higher prices after that. Same thing as Nasdaq, like exact same concept that I'm looking for right now. Even though everything in my narrative is bullish, the reason why I'm looking for lower prices is because I'd like to see some sort of sell side liquidity being purged to continue a higher move. And on top of that, I have the confluence of a previous day high SMT, London high SMT, 5-minute high SMT, which is why I'm looking for lower prices overall. Does that make sense?
Just check the change in state delivery.
Okay, you're good. I'm gonna wait because I need to wait for this swing low to be broken before I can trail here.
Okay. Let's see. We have a weekly daily S&P at this move low. Now we have formed a daily S&P on the highs. So
What do you mean by order pairing? So in order for price, okay, how do I explain this in simple terms? So order pairing is when, let's say, large institutions are pairing their huge orders with a lot of liquidity. So they need liquidity to pair it with, if that makes sense. Like, so there's passive liquidity, which are orders, and then there's aggressive liquidity, which are people that are willing to enter a trade at a worse price. And oh man, actually wait, sorry, I don't know why I'm like having a brain fart right now. Man, I've explained this so many times, but I think it's because I'm on live. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah. Oh, okay, sorry. Liquidity levels that big players are pairing their orders with, because their orders are very large. So when they execute that order, it moves the market in that direction, right? So if there's a lot of buy orders coming in, it'll move the market higher. So that's your buying pressure, and then your selling pressure is the opposite. If there's big players doing a lot of sell orders, that'll push the market lower. So what order pairing is they're using resting liquidity at specific levels, and that's where you'll find your heat maps, and that's where the reason why we use swing highs and swing lows is because typically retail traders like to leave their stop losses there, and so that will be what we refer to as buy side, sell side liquidity. And so when price trades into those levels, big players will execute parts of their orders, their large orders, and then they will execute parts of their large orders so that they don't just, because there's not enough liquidity to complete their full order, if that makes sense. So the best way that I like to visualize it is, let's say at a specific level, a big player wants to execute Okay, so let's draw it like this. So let's say at a specific level, let's say this high right here in the schematic right here, a big player wants to execute 100 contracts worth of sells, okay? But in order to sell 100 contracts, you need to have willing buyers at this level that will take up your sell, that will sell to you, right? So, or sorry, that will buy to you because you want to sell your contracts. So if you have such a massive order, then you have to do it multiple times and let liquidity build up above this high. So over time, let's say there's a lot of traders that are going short and their stop loss is above here. But if you're a big player versus a bunch of, let's say, smaller players, then let's say each stop loss that rests above here will be maybe 1 contract, 2 contracts, or even up to 5 contracts, for example. So let's say 5 contracts in this case. So let's say in this case, let's say 10 small players in the market decide to execute a short on this schematic and place their stop loss above this high. Well, when price trades back into this high, because there's only 10 small players putting 10 buys here, 10 orders here for their stop loss, that means that this big player can only execute 50 contracts. Does that make sense? So if price comes up here, they can only be filled 50 contracts unless they're willing to accept a worse price, which there might be more orders. Well, there will be more orders at a worse price if they want to do that. But that's pretty much the concept of liquidity, and that's order pairing. When big players are pairing their orders with a bunch of small orders, or it could be even another big player, but it's basically just grabbing liquidity so they can actually enter their position at the desired price point. And that's why you'll see sometimes why we call it accumulation, manipulation, distribution, is because you have this consolidation, which gets a lot of small players, typically, usually it's small players, to enter a short here. They'll put their stop loss above here. They'll put their short here, they'll put their stop loss above here. And they'll just keep doing this over and over again until, let's say in this case, there's 5 sell orders from small players, or sorry, 6 sell orders from small players. And so what that manipulation, accumulation, and that manipulation is institutions coming in, buying up or selling off all of these buy orders resting above this high, resting above this high, resting above this high. They're going to sell to those willing buyers, hitting their stop loss typically is what we think of when we do smart money trading or ICT trading. And so after they pair their order, they can then sell off price and continue it in the direction. And all of these people will likely be looking for longs off of this manipulation, right? And it's the exact same concept. And now because everyone's entering long off of the manipulation, they have a lot more selling power as price drives lower, sending price lower, because they're selling all of the willing buyers and they're buying to all the willing sellers. Does that make sense? I've simplified this a lot more before with like a gas station analogy as well. Or actually I learned from Casper, or learned from Jesse, but that's like trying to explain it, I guess. Did you take any trades? Yeah, I'm in the short right now. Oh wait, I forgot to manage my short. What's happening? So if we close below this swing low, then I'm going to trail my stop loss to this order block high. Actually, I'm just going to move the break even off this because I wouldn't want price to come back up here anyways. So give it 26 seconds and I'm going to trail my stop loss here to break even. So 14 more seconds here, I'm going to trail the break even. So now you guys can see the full effect of order pairing. Buy side liquidity has been run on top of here, right? So this is the accumulation phase. Manipulation, if this is if this does drive lower in this case, then what I'm looking at is this is the accumulation over here where there's going to be buy stops resting above these highs, sell stops resting below these lows, right? And so why I'm looking for a short is because there's accumulation, manipulation higher, taking out these buy orders. And so this would be order pairing that's occurring on the highs. Big players are now selling to the willing buyers in this area as a whole, above this zone right here, I guess, this accumulation zone. And so big players are selling off to the willing buyers resting above here. And what this also does, it induces traders to enter longs because it looks like it's very bullish, right? And so people will continuously look for longs along here. And what does that mean? There's going to be a lot more sell orders here as well. So as we trade into this sell side liquidity, we call it sell side liquidity when it's on swing lows, I would like to see price start to speed up and push through these sell side liquidities because we're looking for big players to sponsor that sell off. That makes sense. And so this accumulation down here is a major level that I'm looking at, because if price does make it to this level, I'd like to see price just speed through it. Does that make sense? So this is a real example that's happening right now, or the idea is happening right now.
Love that 15-minute CISD as Confluence.
What's that on your headphones? It's a little leaf. It's like a crocheted leaf that my girlfriend gave me, so I just leave it. So she put on my headphones, so I just leave it there. That was pretty funny. So how do you find which order block or fair value gap will work in higher time frame if there are many of these? Oh wait, I have to move to break even, guys. Sorry. Wait, let me do that first. I think that's important. All right, stops are at break even. Okay, how do you find which order block or fair value gap will work in higher time frame if there are many of these in discount? If you're so a key thing that I look for when referring to higher time frame key levels is you want to see order pairing occur within it, right? I learned this from MXM Trader and OTE Trader, so credit to them. But whenever I'm looking for a higher time frame key level, so for example right here, I want to see this fair value gap being traded into. But why is this a realistic level that I'm looking for? Is because there's a lot of sell side liquidity resting above it, right? So as we trade into it, I know that this could be a good key level because we're taking out all the sell side liquidity, which results in order pairing. My higher time frame narrative is bullish overall. So if we're able to order pair on the lows, I'd look for higher prices after that. Does that make sense? So that's how I select those higher time frame key levels, is by using lower time frame liquidity pools. And in this case, there's a lot of liquidity resting below these lows right here. Definitely advanced concept, took me a while to understand, but once you get it, yeah, it just caught me off guard because I haven't explained liquidity in a long time. I'm not gonna lie. Full port in profit. Some people can't handle like success. Okay. Okay. Yo, Ethan, what webcam are you using? I'm not using a webcam. I'm actually using a I'm using a camera. Is it, what's it called? What's it? Full frame camera? Is that what it's called, Elijah? I don't know too much about cameras, but it's the 7C Mark II that I'm using as my webcam. I really like Sony cameras because you can just plug it in and use it as a webcam, basically. What's your background? What's your chart background code? It's DCD3C9. Full frame webcam. I'm pretty sure it's excessive though for YouTube, but I just wanted it, so I bought it. In GBP USD monthly time frame. Okay, let's take a look. I mean, as of right now, you have this dealing range right here. On the monthly chart, it'd be this dealing range right here. So what I'd be paying attention to is either a previous let me think real quick. A previous season high SMT on GBP and USD, GBP USD and Euro USD, or I'd be looking for a previous month high SMT on EUGU, and then that's what would initiate a bearish bias for retracement in this monthly range. And I would just refer to this inefficiency right here. And the reason why is because it's the first inefficiency. But if you want to be more accurate, you can drop down to the daily chart and ask yourself, where's the liquidity resting? And this is where you'll probably find your SMT as well with that specific PD array. But once again, as of right now, I just look for higher prices because it doesn't seem there's no SMTs at all on the highs, right? So I just look for continued higher prices until that SMT forms on the highs. Do you trade other futures or any other symbols like crypto, forex, or indices? So indices is my intraday trading market, but other than that, everything else, I'll still look at it for analysis, but if there are entry opportunities or there's trade opportunities in these other markets that I'm watching, then I'll look for a longer term position. But for the most part, it's just index futures for my intraday trading. You use it just for YouTube or other stuff? It's a solid cam. I don't really. I think it's more of a leisure thing. It's like I wanted to get into photography a little more. So whenever I travel and stuff like that, then I'll just take the camera with me and, you know, take some pictures, videos. But the reason why I got it is my close friend, or Elijah, he's like into photography very heavily. So I wanted to also get involved, and also content creation, right? It's like, just for like vlogs and stuff like that, I wanted to experiment with different types of shots and stuff like that. So I thought it was pretty cool. I was gonna get the FX3, but I was like, that is way too hefty of an investment for my skill level. So right now, what I'm paying attention to for the next trade management is going to be this swing low right here. If price is able to close below the swing low, then I'm going to trail to this 10-15 candle high. Once again, the reason why I'm looking at these swing lows is I'm just following basic market structure in this trade management. If we're bearish, then I just want to see lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And then I just incorporate fair value gaps and order blocks into this trailing method to make it as mechanical as possible. That way it helps me manage my emotions, but also helps you guys learn in a more mechanical manner. Of course, you guys can tweak this in the future, but this is just how I do it. How you got that camera mounted up there? I literally just took my Insta360's monopod and I just propped it on there and hope it doesn't fall over. That's quite literally it. But yeah, I think honestly, even if you get like the Sony ZV, I have this camera too. Jesse sent it to me. He was very generous, but he gave me his old camera. It's like a vlogging camera, and this is also really good, the ZV-1. So it's also not as expensive, but I think it's also more manageable. That's the important thing, is if you put this on a tripod versus the 7C Mark II, it's a lot more manageable. The 7C is kind of sometimes it's wobbly on my desk, but I just get ready to catch it. Room tour. I think you already see like all of my room basically. Like what's off camera is just my closet and the door. And then half of my room, actually I'd say like 4/5 of my room is my office. And then in the corner of my room is just my bed. I appreciate my Asian brother. We'll check it out. Yeah, check out your channel too. Thanks for coming by. Isn't a 10-10 high a logical stop? It is? Wait, 10-10 high. Why would that be? Actually, I think you're looking at the 1 minute chart, right? Or are you looking? 5 minute chart? 5 minutes, 10-10 high. Oh, if you use price weighting, then yes, that would be a logical stop. But other than that, I just look for my trailing method at least, I wait for break of structure before trailing. So even if I get stopped out at break even here and then I'd end the day on negative 0.5 R, that's completely fine with me. And the reason why I don't like to trail as the price leg is developing is because I used to do it and it would work, but I would have to use so much brain power to do it with a lot of discretionary criteria. But now I've just set it more of a mechanical criteria where it's a lot more peace of mind. Like if we get a bearish trend on my trade, then I'll trail the bearish trend and just go with it. Right? If it wants to go, it'll go. If it doesn't want to go, it won't go. And it's just adopting the new mindset of if the market wants to give it to me, then it'll give it to me. Every day I'm just following the same system. Sometimes I don't get follow through on my trades, but sometimes I get a random 15R trade out of nowhere. But it's just about staying consistent with that method, right? I just realized I forgot to turn on my lighting. Wait, is my light not plugged in? Give me a sec. I guess my light just doesn't work for some reason. Huh. I think my light's actually dead. All right, time to get a new one. Okay, so I just got stopped at break even, I think. Wait. Did I get stopped at break even? I'm so confused. How did that happen? I think MNQ just did something. Again. Yeah, it did. It just wicked this out. Well, I guess that's my trade. I got positively slipped though, which isn't horrible. So I'm down $15 on the day times 5. Not bad, I guess. It's just break even day. That's interesting though. I think recently micro Nasdaq has been doing this so many times though, where it just wicks me out and then continues. Which is a little annoying, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why micro Nasdaq does that. Alright, I'm back. Alright, well, it is what it is. Followed my rules. Okay. I'm currently in longs. See what happens. Rooting for you, bro. I'm already out, so it doesn't matter to me anymore. Would you say NQ is cleaner than MNQ? Yeah, I would say NQ is cleaner because it's the full contract and there's more liquidity within this contract. How you trade on Nasdaq, but micro Nasdaq wicked you out? It's because my execution. So I do my analysis on NQ all the time because it's more precise, in my opinion, because it's more liquid. But for execution, since my top step accounts are smaller, I have 5 50K accounts because they're smaller than I execute on MNQ. Yeah, yesterday I also got positively slipped. It was really weird. I think yesterday I was supposed to have -1R on the day, but I got positively slipped because MNQ just did the like millisecond wick, and then I got positively slipped into -0.4R. So very interesting. Forgot what I was gonna do on my phone. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. So my TFDs didn't get taken out, so I'll see if those play out. Right now, my stop is still at break even. My TFDs are still in for some reason. Somehow, but they are. If you want to see, this is the position. Is your trading view and Top Step X merged together, and how long does Top Step payout usually take? My Top Step payouts usually take less than 24 hours. It's been very good for me. My trading view and Top Step are not merged together. Top Step X is a separate platform. Let me see if I pull up TFD, the features desk, and then you guys can just watch that position there instead. You guys should be able to see that. Put accounts. And then I'll put positions down here. Now you guys can see everything. Are you guys able to see that? Oh, you are. Okay, great. So yeah, this is the position as of right now. I'll just drag that a little lower. Make this a little fatter. All right, there you go. Stops are still at break even right now. Nothing for me to do until the swing low is taken out. So if it stops me at break even, it is what it is. What is NQ on TradingView? That's like the ticker. So if you want to use the current contract, it would be NQU 2025. If you want to use the continuous contract, that's what I use personally, is NQ1 exclamation mark. Use ACH or what? I use Wise. So let me just journal really quickly. Export trades. Right. Do you guys like the new layout or do you prefer the old one? Of the stream. I got break even as well in profit. Yeah, that was weird. I think it's just because the wick on MNQ, like it happened really, really quickly. So, okay, I'm gonna screenshot this now. Got to screenshot yesterday's trades too. I don't like that there is this difference in MNQ and NQ though. Yeah, I think it just shows that. Actually, I don't know what it shows. I just say maybe markets are being manipulated right now or something. Manual intervention. Will you still hold? Yeah, I'm holding this position. If I get stopped at break even, then it is what it is. Also, the TFDs are evals. Just to be clear, these are eval accounts that are still in. My live accounts or my funded accounts, they are all wicked out. So I'm break even on the day for those accounts. But yeah, right now it's looking pretty choppy. I would imagine the 1 minute looks horrible right now. Chopping higher. I think that should be my stop out. Or very close to it. Okay, so that's my break even there. All right, so that concludes my trading session right there. I'm gonna lock myself out on all my accounts. Good. Sure, everything's closed. So on the day, by God's grace, I got positively slipped somehow. So I'm break even on the day pretty much. $15 minus $15 on each account. Hey, sometimes you have worse PA, sometimes you have better PA. Like J Trades, for example, he's in a long right now. This is good PA for him, right? So it really just depends on perspective. Like today I followed my model, it just didn't play out. It is what it is. Operating on 1 minute. Is operating on 1 minute that much different from 5 minute? Because I thought Jesse trades on 1 minute. Jesse does trade on the 1 minute. I prefer teaching on the 5 minute chart, which is why I've moved to 5 minute and higher only. Sometimes I do look at the lower time frames, but for the most part, I just look at the 5 minute chart. It's a lot easier to let you guys know when I'm executing, when I'm trailing, and all of that. Because sometimes I answer questions in between. Like earlier, I forgot to trail my stop loss because I was answering questions, right? So imagine that was the 1 minute chart. It'd be a lot harder for me to answer questions and stuff like that if it was on the 1 minute or anything below that. Did you take trades yesterday? Yeah, I did take trades yesterday. I took 2 shorts yesterday as well. And I ended the day yesterday minus 0.4 R because I got positively slipped as well. Do you think this SMTs at the highs will get disrespected? Well, my narrative is telling me to look for lower prices. Just my model didn't work out. So it is kind of what it is. Do you take your trades based on 5 minute time frame? Yes, I do. J Trades, did your TPs hit? I hope it hit. This is some anxiety inducing PA, can't lie. How do you form your narrative? So what I do is I always start from a higher time frame. So right now, how I form it is starting from the monthly chart because this is the cleanest chart to me as of right now. So in the monthly chart, I'm looking at this bullish range. We trade it into a discount, into this order block, into this internal range liquidity. Once again, order pairing, very important, right? We trade it into this internal range liquidity, order pairing into this order block. On YM, it was this order block / this fair value gap, and then ES, it was just this fair value gap. So this is what I'm paying attention to. So the reason why I've been bullish for the past month or 2 months now is because of this narrative alone. But on a shorter term basis, I would drop down to lower time frame. So using time frame alignment from monthly chart to daily chart, I just pay attention here, right? So follow the dealing ranges, and this is how I've been pretty much tracking price, right? And so whenever we trade into external range liquidity, I look for internal. Internal, look for external. External, look back for internal range liquidity. And now we've taken this internal range liquidity, which is why this has been bullish and I've been looking for higher prices. Until now, we've taken out external range liquidity again, right? Which is why I'm looking for some sort of internal range liquidity. And so how can we find that is if we drop down to a lower time frame, it starts to become a little more clear on where I should be looking for that specifically. So time frame alignment, going to the 90-minute chart now. Where is the liquidity resting for order pairing to continue that narrative to go higher, right? And so in this case, you have all of the sell side liquidity resting below here. This is the inefficiency that I'm paying attention to. And that's why I want to see external range liquidity taken. Want to see price trade back into internal range liquidity and then go for once again, external range liquidity, which is why I'm bearish as of right now, even though my narrative is overall bullish. But what adds confluence to this is that this SMT right here that occurred is with previous day high. And there's also a 15-minute SMT on the high. And there's also a 5-minute SMT on the high. That's why I'm looking for lower prices. Does that make sense? So that's how I pretty much build my narrative from the top-down analysis. I keep conservative TPs on one batch of accounts and aggressive on another batch. Nice, good stuff. Fire. Curious, have you tracked your winning percentage? Yes, I track all my metrics on TradeZella. I also do manual journaling on Notion, and sometimes I do manual journaling, like writing it down for my emotions and stuff like that. But typically it's Notion and TradeZella. TradeZella, I just import my trades, and then Notion is where I do all the rest of my journaling. The reason I do that is because TradeZella makes it really easy to track metrics that I don't want to do manually. But yeah, my let's see. Yeah, based on the single model, my win rate right now after today, it's sitting at around 40% win rate, and yeah, 40% win rate. And this is with the parameter break-even trades count as plus or minus $50 on a trade per account. So because today's negative $15, it counts as a break-even day. How would you feel if it runs straight to TP now? I wouldn't feel anything because I'm locked out. Nothing I can do about it. I just followed my plan, and this is how it played out, right? Once again, it's just about trusting my system, and sometimes the market's going to give it to me, sometimes it's not. If it takes me out, goes straight to my TP, yes, it's frustrating, but at the same time, I have to recognize that it's just part of the process, really. Because earlier this year, it's like just getting a random 14R trades, 15R trades out of nowhere. Like, I don't expect those, but if the market gives it to me, then it gives it to me. Now, if it wants to give me break evens or small losses, then it is what it is. All that matters to me is that I'm following my model to the T, and that I'm managing my risk to the best of my ability. Because if you manage your downside, your equity curve can really only go one way. So that's the mindset that I'm trying to adopt every single day. And once again, like, I'm human. It is frustrating sometimes, but that's trading. Welcome to trading. Seems like you enjoy manual journaling. You should make an Excel sheet that auto tracks the metrics. I would. I have no idea how to do that, but I feel like I've come up with this system where it's like using TradeZella and Notion. It's been very good, so I'll probably be sticking with it, but I'll do some research into Excel sheets and stuff like that. I feel like knowing how to use Excel sheets really well is also a benefit just in general. How do you define dealing ranges? Good question, actually. How would I define dealing range? I feel like the way I use a dealing range is different from the way ICT teaches it, so I wouldn't necessarily use the definition. But I'd say dealing range for me is just I guess it's an indicator for me, knowing when price is at a premium or discount. And it pretty much lets me know how would I explain how I use dealing range actually? I haven't thought about that. I just use it. But yeah, I just use, I'd say it's a range of price that marks premium and discount and helps me identify key levels to trade off of. That's how I would define dealing range for the way I use it. How do you know when price finish creating a new external range liquidity and start going from that new external to internal range liquidity? So whenever it creates a new external range liquidity, I typically want to see a retracement or some sort of order. Once again, it comes back to order pairing. I want to see order pairing and then a new breakup structure. So if I were to draw a new dealing range, it doesn't necessarily have to go all the way back to discount here. It could just trade into the this liquidity pool right here, which is what I'm looking for, order pairing. Or even if it traded into this liquidity pool right here and then pushed higher, then that would be enough for me to draw a new dealing range. But how I draw my dealing ranges is just using simple market structure. So let's say you have two markets here. So a typical dealing range will look something like this. And so if the markets are moving together and it creates a breakup structure right here in market structure terms, if it takes this high, both of these markets are correlated and both of them take this high, then I will draw a new dealing range because both of them are moving together, right? But in the case that one market fails to take out the high, so let's say this market on the right side fails to take out this high, but this one on the left does, this is SMT, right? So this is where I look for a reversal in price. So this dealing range, I wouldn't draw a new dealing range here. I would just leave this one right here, understanding that external range liquidity has just been taken on this. Until this takes out external range liquidity, there is no new external range liquidity created yet, right? So I'm going to be looking for the opposing side of the range until maybe there's an opposing SMT. So if there's an opposing SMT on the low here, it's just rinse and repeat. So say something like that. Swept out this low, but didn't take out the external range low. And I'd just be looking for, once again, this range high. It's not really range high, but this new buy side liquidity. And then on the second market here, I'd be looking for the external range liquidity high. Does that make sense? So whenever I have an SMT with external range liquidity, I look for the opposing external range liquidity. Whenever you're trading from internal to external range liquidity or external to internal range liquidity, what I look for to confirm that is a lower time frame SMT. So for example, if I'm using the 90-minute range like I am now, that's why I'm looking for 15-minute or 5-minute SMT to confirm that turnaround in price. Yeah, but your RR is not high if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the last time I checked my stats, I think this was like a few days ago, but my stats are slowly climbing for 2025. It hasn't been, my stats haven't been great this year, but it's still pretty decent. I think it was like 2-3 days ago I checked my stats. It was my win rate's sitting at 42% with 3.9 RR average. For average winner, 3.99 RR. Or is that just average RR? Average win-loss trade. But that's average RR. I think it's like, it's a lot of outliers that push that stat up, to be honest. Because sometimes out of nowhere, you'll just get like a 15 hour trade, for example, and that just skews the data. but I just include the data because it's part of the model, right? Just like earlier, like these trades right here, if these trades did hit today, right, let's say price continued pushing lower, then this trade over here would have been a 24R trade based on that target, right? And then this other trade right here would have been a 10R trade based on that target. So it really is just, if the market gives it to me, it gives it to me. But today is just being a little more hesitant. Normally what I want to see is just price expanding my favor first, and then I can move to break even pretty quickly, and then just trail as market develops price action lower. And then that's typically how my trades form, is trailing these swing points right here after each break of structure. And that's just lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? Just very basic market structure. Is targeting Asia low good TP? Where's Asia low resting at? Right here. Yeah, I think this is a really good TP. But personally, what I was looking for in my trade for the short was I wanted to see price accelerate to this level because there's a lot of sell side liquidity, right? So if I was able to accelerate to this level, I'd watch this key level, which is Asia low, because this is the consolidation low of this first area of sell side liquidity. Then if price continues to reject lower from this area, maybe from a fair value gap, then I'll just hold, continue trailing, and hold for even lower prices over here, potentially, right? So that's how I would manage this trade. I wouldn't immediately close at Asia low. I would just pay attention to what price is doing at this level. Do you have any key levels that you don't want to see invalidated? Trail to there. Maybe you'll give up a few points of profit, but you also give yourself the opportunity to let it run if it wants to run, right? That's how you hold your winners. Try using medium or mode to calculate RR if you want to not have it skewed. I will try that. I wonder if TradeZella has. I feel like it should. I'll check it out later. So if you guys are still, whoever's still in this trade, if you are, then what I'm paying attention to now is the swing low. If you get a candle closure below it, I would trail my stop loss to this order block high right here, which would pretty much be the same stop loss, break even. And then continue to let it ride lower if it wants to go lower. So it is now 11. It's actually way past. I usually get off at 10:30, but I just lost track of time. Yeah. So I appreciate you all joining the stream for today. Type 1 if you're satisfied with the stream. Type 2 if you have any additional questions you want me to wait and I'll answer them. Other than that, I probably will be heading out here pretty soon. So you don't take partials when in profit? I used to, and I realized that if you just let your trade run and trail your stop loss, personally, I think that's better than partialing because you're limiting your earning potential, right? If you trail, then you'll still earn the same amount. If that makes sense. Like, let's say you take a partial here for $200, but now let's say you took out 50% of your position, then you're having your earning potential all the way down here, right? But instead, I can just trail my stop loss, let's say maybe halfway here, and that'll still give me $200 profit, but it'll take off my full position. But either way, this is my invalidation level that I don't want price to go to. But because I trailed instead of closing my half my position, if it hits my TP, I still have a full earning potential on my trade. Does that make sense? But yeah, good stuff, everyone. I think today was pretty, despite this little leg of price right here, really good stuff, everyone. Other than that, I am break even on the day. It is what it is. Followed my model to the T. Can't be mad. On that note, I will be heading off here. And everyone, I hope you enjoy the rest of your days. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time at 9:15. All right, take care, everyone.